So this is your fire sprinkler system coming into the building. So what we're looking at here is to make sure, again, that the annual fire inspections are being done by a licensed company and to make sure the system appears to be in good working order for us. So we're looking at your valves here, and they are open, allowing water in for emergencies. And then we're looking particularly at these tags here that you'll find hanging on your system to let us know that the inspections are taking place. In this particular case, the last inspection was done in March of 25, so we know that that is good for a year from that date. And it's done by your fire sprinkler company that y'all have a contract with. You are required to have spare heads here. That way if you have a leak or a busted head at some point, your sprinkler company comes out to put your system back in service. You already have the appropriate types of heads in the box. They can replace that head, and then they can order them and get you new ones on your inventory. Just another example of fire extinguisher. So what we're looking at here is just like the fire alarm and sprinkler systems. We want to look at the inspection tag and make sure that those are current. And again, just like the rest, you can see this was done in July of 2025, so it is good until July of 2026. And you just have another inspection done on it as well. We're also going to look at the gauges here. Make sure that when we look at it, that the little needle there is pointing in the green. If it's pointing to the left in the red, that means it's either losing pressure or has been discharged. And if it's pointing to the right, it is actually overpressured and would need to be serviced as well. If you'll notice on the back of your fire extinguisher tags, this is an area that's actually for the business owner or management or somebody to take care of. There's 12 blocks here on the bottom. And what we would do here is each month, you would go through and initial that for that month on this inspection block to say that I, as the owner or the business manager, have looked at it and I don't see any apparent damage. The gauge looks good, and it lets you know that, hey, I've done my monthly check on it to see that it's okay. So we do have a secondary fire extinguisher on this level of the business. However, standing here, I cannot see it. And so that is another very important part of dealing with our fire extinguishers. We want to make sure that they are not only as inspected and current, but that they are unobstructed and visible and accessible. So in this case, having a curtain blocking the view and access to that fire extinguisher would be something we would want you to address, whether it is to remove the curtain or if it's going to be to relocate that fire extinguisher somewhere that is accessible. For the majority of the time, they are hanging on a bracket on the wall, and that is the generally accepted way to mount your fire extinguishers. However, you can find them in cabinets that are either built into the wall, and in some select cases, they can actually go into a cabinet or a closet, as long as that cabinet or closet is marked and labeled on the outside to let you know there's a fire extinguisher inside. When it comes to mounting them on the wall, we do want them to be no more than 48 inches above the floor to the top of the handles. And then we want them a minimum of 4 inches off the floor at the bottom. And that allows for you to be able to access them, is also for ADA compliance. If somebody's in a wheelchair bound or something like that, they can still access the fire extinguisher if they needed to. All right, so here on the balcony, just like we saw downstairs, each level of a building will be required to have fire extinguishers as well. So again, here with one in a cabinet, the dates on the tags look good, so we know those are okay. Typically, in most cases, all your fire extinguishers are looked at the same time each year. So unless one got missed for any reason, they should all have the same dates on them. So up here we have a mechanical room, storage room type situation. So these are some of the other places that we want to look in businesses to make sure that we're not dealing with an overload of storage or that we're not causing any problems in regards to the fire protection system. So we'll step inside here, take a look at it. In here we do have fire protection systems, the sprinklers that pass through to kind of protect these types of areas. We want to see very minimal storage in an area like this. This is typically designed just for your mechanical equipment, like your air handler systems, things like that. Here's a good example of one of those mist fire extinguishers. So this room is kind of out of sight, out of mind, but mechanical rooms, electrical rooms are required to have fire extinguishers as well. And this particular one, as if you look closely on the tag, you can see that it actually expired a couple years ago, was probably missed on previous inspections, didn't realize it was in here. So that'll be one that we would contact your company that's doing your service to have them come out and take care of that inspection on that one. Now, one thing I do want to point out to everybody is that not every business meets the same requirements in regards to fire and life safety codes. So some things that you may have seen in our video series now that we've called out in a facility like a theater or restaurant may not apply to a small antique shop, for example, or a smaller restaurant. The general things that apply pretty well everywhere is your address numbering, access to the buildings, keys, things like that. And then fire extinguishers are required in all occupancies, no smoking signs, exit signage. It is required in the vast majority of occupancies, unless it's a very small business with only one door in and out of the building, then sometimes those are not required there. But outside of that, most everything else will be pretty well across the board, with the exception of things like the fire sprinklers and alarms and things like that.